Most people think peace comes from avoiding chaos, but real peace starts when you stop running, sit still, and listen to what your mind is trying to tell you. This form of silence that you may be dealing with, it isn't the absence of noise, it's the presence of awareness. And I feel like this is one of the main things in life that makes people conflicted, because truthfully, the only way to quiet your mind is to simply be able to listen, to be able to put your pride aside, to be able to completely change your perspective on your entire life in general, and be a student for once. And I know with us being the ones in charge of our lives for the most part, it can be hard to discipline yourself in this sense. It can be hard to take yourself out of the leadership role that you're usually probably in, based on you guiding and maneuvering through the world, and actually just accept the fact that you are a human being, which just means that you're very flawed. But the more that you run from your thoughts, the louder that they get. And this applies to everything in life. When you finally learn to become what it is that you want to attract, that's when everything will start to come into your life. The more that you chase, it really just creates that form of resistance, and it won't come back into your life until you learn to fully release it. So release this form of control over this internal quietness that you may want. It's not about chaos. It's about you making a decision that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to feel something. It's okay to finally be aware. And I feel like this was one of the hardest things for me to accept in life, because I've always been the type of person, when I get placed in a position where I didn't necessarily feel that something was for me, or it was a lot of chaos, or it was a lot of hectic energy going on, I ran. And all this form of running did was set me back, because I didn't realize how many problems that I had that I simply weren't facing, that in the long run all came back to hunt me. So sit still. Stop being so quick to want to see things play out differently in your life, and attack things at the source, exactly where you stand. Stillness is the one thing that creates space for clarity, and without it, it just echoes. Just think about how many things that we spend our time running from on the daily basis. Certain urges that we may have to do bad things, certain desires, or just the guilt of not being where you want to be, whether it's from failure or just the hardships that you may face. So many of us are running from things that if we just took a moment to stand still, to completely observe our surroundings, we'd realize that the only way to truly overcome them is to release and face them in this very moment. That voice, that echo in your mind telling you that you're not at peace, is nothing more than a decision that you're making to not be at peace. You're in complete control over what goes on inside of your mind. Do not let the enemy trick you out of believing that you don't have control over yourself. You develop this sense of control through discipline, through taking action, through you finally learning how to take full control and be in charge over the life that you're living. The mind only screams when it's never been heard. If you have this voice inside of you that is begging to be released, that is just begging to be seen, it's just simply because you haven't allowed yourself to be exposed in that sense. You haven't been able to fully release whatever it is that's holding you back, and that's probably why your mind is not at peace. It's not the chaos, because there's been plenty of times in my life where I've been through chaotic things that most people would probably fold under pressure and just give up on, and I overcame it, and I didn't let it disrupt me mentally. Take the time to listen to your thoughts, because those are the things that are going to tell you exactly where the pain is, exactly where the hurt, things that you need to fix, things that you need to pay close attention to, because they're pulling you down. And if you truly want to grow, it begins when you stop arguing with yourself. A lot of the times we can feel when we're not in the right position in life, or when we're not in the right headspace. Most people just choose to ignore it because it's much harder to face certain problems. It's much harder to look yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, I'm not living right, I'm not doing right, I'm not where I want to be. So now I have to make an adjustment that gets me out of a position where I may feel comfortable, an adjustment that puts me in a completely different headspace. It may not feel safe, it may not feel secure, but I know that in the long run it'll be worth it. Keeping in mind that every mental storm that you have, it passes faster when you stop trying to control the weather. If you just take a second to look up during your storm, during whatever hardship that you may be faced with, take a second to just look up and just smile, understanding that it's not going to last forever, but you're not rushing it because you know that it builds character. You're constantly elevating, you're constantly growing. That's what it's about. It's not about trying to escape. It's not about trying to run from this form of chaos that you may be dealing with. Acceptance and release is the biggest takeaway. Inner peace requires self-honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, because this form of emotional intelligence starts with internal observation, not external advice. That's why I feel like it's very important that we just learn to listen. We learn to listen to our bodies, listen to our minds, our instincts, gut feelings that we have. To me, these are all signals or warnings, things that really help us dictate our next move, to keep us safe, to prevent us from being hurt, to prevent us from making bad decisions. And when you finally do learn to listen, just make sure that you're paying close attention to the things that you know are going to put you in a better position. Because not everything that comes up in our mind, not everything or every feeling that our body or our mind tells us should be acted upon, just simply based that we have emotions and things constantly change. So not everything that your mind tells you deserves a reaction. But the things that do deserve a reaction are ultimately the things that are going to put you in a better headspace, that are going to better your life, that are going to bring you peace, going to bring you happiness, going to bring you joy. Those things are non-negotiable. You have to get it. And one of the last things that I really want you to take in and truly understand is the fact that true peace is not found through force. It's found through acceptance and understanding. So to get yourself in a position mentally where you feel truly at peace, it's not about forcing chaos out of your life. It's not even about forcing certain people out of your life. It's more so about accepting and understanding that you have complete control over your current state of mind, regardless of what you go through. That's the power. Real strength is being able to persist through those hard moments, not allowing them to get you off track, not allowing them to fully pull you down. You have to keep going. You have to have that strength that you need, because it's not over for you. If you're watching this video right now, I'm telling you that God still has a plan for you. But the moment that you give up on yourself, then you'll lose all hope. So you have to be the one to believe. You have to be the one that has faith. And don't just have faith, but make sure that you have the actions to back it up. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.